ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Namaste, my dear friends. This is video number 7 on the Talks with Swami Vivekananda. I start this video with the talk number 22, and the topics will be the Bengali monthly Udbodhan, its future policy, place the rented mutt premises at Belur year 1899. The Bengali fortnightly magazine Udbodhan was just started by Swami Trigunatita under the direction of Swamiji for spreading the religious views of Sri Ramakrishna among the general public. After the first number had been out, the disciple came to the mutt at Nilambar Babu's garden one day. Swamiji opened the following conversation with him about the Udbodhan. Swamiji, humorously caricaturing the name of the magazine, have you seen the Udbodhana? Disciple, yes sir, it is a good number. Swamiji, we must mold the ideas, language and everything of this magazine in a new fashion. Disciple, how? Swamiji, not only must we give out Sri Ramakrishna's ideas to all, but we must also introduce a new vigor into the Bengali language. For instance, the frequent use of words diminishes the force of a language. We must restrict the use of words by the use of adjectives. Begin to write articles in that way and show them to me before you give them to print in the Udbodhan. Disciple. Sir, the way Swami Trigunatita is laboring for this magazine, it is impossible for any other man to do. Swamiji, do you think these sannyasin children of Sri Ramakrishna are born simply to sit under trees lighting dhoni fires? Whenever any of them will take up some work, people will be astonished to see their energy. Learn from them how to work. Here, for instance, Trigunatita has given up his spiritual practices, his meditation, and everything to carry out my orders and has set himself to work. Is this a matter of small sacrifice? What an amount of love for me is at the back of this spirit of work. Do you see? He will not stop short of success. Have you householders such determination? Disciple. But, sir, it looks rather odd in our eyes that sannyasin in ochre robes should go about from door to door as the Swami is doing. Swamiji, why? The circulation of the magazine is only for the good of householders. By the spread of new ideas within the country, the public at large will be benefited. Do you think this unselfish work is any way inferior to devotional practices? Our object is to do good to humanity. We have no idea of making money from the income of this paper. We have renounced everything and have no wives or children to provide for after our death. If the paper be a success, the whole of its income will be spent in the service of humanity. Its surplus money will be profitably spent in the opening of monasteries and homes of service in the different places and all sorts of works of public utility. We are not certainly working like householders with the plan of filling our own pockets. Know for certain that all our movements are for the good of others. Disciple. Even then, all will not be able to appreciate this spirit. Swamiji, what if they cannot? It neither adds nor takes away anything from us. We do not take up any work with an eye to criticism. Disciple, sir, this magazine will be a fortnightly. We would like it to be a weekly. Swamiji, yes, but where are the funds? If through the grace of Sri Ramakrishna funds are raised, it can be made into a daily event in future. 100,000 copies may be struck off daily and distributed free in every street and lane of Calcutta. Disciple, this idea of yours is a capital one. Swamiji, I have a mind to make the paper self-supporting first and then set you up as its editor. You have not yet got the capacity to make any enterprise stand on its legs. That's reserved only for these all-renouncing sannyasis to do. They will work themselves to death but never yield, whereas a little resistance or just a trifle criticism is bewildering to you. Disciple, sir, the other day I saw Swami Trigunatita worshipped the photo of Sri Ramakrishna in the press before opening the work and asked for your blessings for the success of the work. Swamiji, well, Sri Ramakrishna is our center. Each one of us is a ray of that light center. So, Trigunatita worshipped Sri Ramakrishna before opening the work, did he? It was excellently done, but he told me nothing of it. Disciple, sir, he fears you, and yesterday he told me to come to you and ask your opinion of the first issue of the magazine, after which he said he would see you. Swamiji, tell him when you go that I am exceedingly delighted with his work. Give him my loving blessings, and all of you help him as far as you can. You will be doing Sri Ramakrishna's work by that. Immediately after saying these words, Swamiji called Swami Brahmananda to him and directed him to give Swami Trigunatita more money for the Udbodhan if it was needed. The same evening after supper, Swamiji again referred to that topic of Udbodhan in the following words. In the Udbodhan, we must give the public only positive ideals. Negative thoughts weaken man. Do you not find that where parents are constantly taxing their sons to read and write, telling them to, they will telling them they will never learn anything and calling them fools and so forth. The latter do actually turn out to be so in many cases. If you speak kind words to boys and encourage them, they are bound to improve in time. What holds good of children also holds good of children in the region of higher thoughts. If you can give them positive ideas, people will grow up to the man and learn to stand on their own legs. In language and literature, in poetry and the arts, in everything we must point out not the mistakes that people are making in their thoughts and actions, but the way in which they will gradually be able to do these things better. Pointing out mistakes wounds a man's feelings. We have seen how Sri Ramakrishna would encourage even those whom we considered as worthless and change the very course of their lives thereby. His very method of teaching was a unique phenomenon. After a short pause, Swamiji continued, never take the preaching of religion to mean the turning up of one's nose at everything and at everybody. In matters physical, mental and spiritual, in everything we must give man positive ideas and never hate anybody. It is your hatred of one another that has brought about your degradation. Now we shall have to raise man by scattering broadcast only positive thoughts. First we must raise the whole Hindu race in this way and then the whole world. That's why Sri Ramakrishna was incarnated. He never destroyed a single man's special inclinations. He gave words of hope and encouragement even to the most degraded of persons and lifted them up. We too must follow in his footsteps and lift all up and rouse them. Do you understand? Your history, literature, mythology, and all other shastras are simply frightening people. They are only telling them, we, you will go to hell, you are doomed. Therefore, has this lethargy crept into the very vitals of India? Hence, we must explain to man in simple words the highest ideas of the Vedas and the Vedanta. Through the imparting of moral principles, good behavior, and education, we must make the Chandala come up to the level of the Brahmana. Come, write out all these things in the Udbodhana and awaken everyone, young and old, men and women. They only shall I know that your study of the Vedas and Vedanta has been a success. What do we say? Will you be able to do this, disciple? Through your blessings and command, I think I shall succeed in everything. Swamiji, another thing. You must learn to make the physique very strong and teach the same to others. Don't you find me exercising every day with dumbbells even now? Walk on mornings and evenings and do physical labor. Body and mind must run parallel. It won't do to depend on others in everything. When the necessity of strengthening the physique is brought home to people, they will be of themselves exert in that. It is to make them feel this need that education is necessary at the present moment. Talk number 23. India wants not lecturing but work. The crying problem in India is poverty. Young sannyasis to be trained both as secular and spiritual teachers and workers from the masses. Exhortations to young men to work for others. Place the Belur Mutt while under construction. Year 1998. Disciple. How is it, Swamis, that you do not lecture in this country? You have tried Europe and America with your lectures, but coming back here you have kept silence, Swamiji. In this country, the ground should be prepared first, and then, if the seed is sown, the plant will come out best. The ground in the West, in Europe and America, is very fertile and fit for sowing seeds. There, they have reached the climax of bhoga enjoyment. Being satiated with bhoga to the full, their minds are not getting peace now, even in those enjoyments, and they feel as if they wanted something else. In this country, you have not either bhoga or yoga, renunciation. When one is satiated with bhoga, then it is that one will listen to and understand the teachings on yoga. What good will lectures do in a country like India, which has become the birthplace of disease, sorrow, and affliction, and where men are emancipated through starvation and weak in mind? Disciple. How is that? Do you not say that ours is the land of religion and that here the people understand religion as they do nowhere else? Why then will not this country be animated by your inspiring eloquence and yield to the full the fruits thereof, Swamiji? Now understand what religion means. The first thing required is the worship of the kurma, tortoise, incarnation, and the belly god is this kurma as it were. Until you pacify this, no one will welcome your words about religion. India is restless with thought of how to face this spectre of hunger. The drainage of the best resources of the country by the foreigners, the unrestricted exports of merchandise, and above all, the abominable jealousy natural to slaves are eating into the very bones and marrow of India. First of all, you must remove this evil of hunger and starvation, this constant thought for bare existence from those to whom you want to preach religion, otherwise lectures and such things will be of no benefit. Disciple, what should we do then to remove that evil? Swamiji, first some young men full of the spirit of renunciation are needed, those who will be ready to sacrifice their lives for others, instead of devoting themselves to their own happiness. With this object in view, I shall establish a mutt to train young sannyasis who will go from door to door and make the people realize their pitiable condition by means of facts and reasoning, and instruct them in the ways and means for their welfare, and at the same time will explain to them as clearly as possible in very simple and easy language the higher truths of religion. The mass of people in our country is like the sleeping leviathan. The education imparted by the present university system reaches to 1 or 2% of the masses only, and even those who get that do not succeed in their endeavor of doing any good to their country. But it is not their fault. Poor fellows, as soon as they come out of their college, they find themselves fathers of several children. Somehow or other, they manage to secure the position of a clerk or at the most a deputy magistrate. This is the final of education. With the burden of a family on their backs, they find no time to do anything great or think anything high. They do not find means enough to fulfill their personal wants and interests. So, what can be expected of them in the way of doing anything for others? Disciple, is there then no way out for us, Swamiji? Certainly there is. This is the land of religion eternal. The country has fallen, no doubt, but will as surely rise again, and that upheaval will astound the world. The lower the hollows the billows make, the higher and with equal force will they rise again. Disciple, how would India rise again? Swamiji, do you not see? The dawn has already appeared in the eastern sky, and there is little delay in the sun's rising. You all set your shoulder to the wheel. What is there in making the world the all in all and thinking of my my sansara? Your duty at present is to go from one part of the country to another, from village to village, and make the people understand that mere sitting about idly won't do any more. Make them understand their real condition and say, "O ye brothers, all arise. Awake, how much longer would you remain asleep? Go and advise them how to improve their own condition and make them comprehend the sublime truths of the Shastras by presenting them in a lucid and popular way. So long the Brahmanas have monopolized religion, but since they cannot hold their ground against the strong tide of time, go and take steps so that one and all in the land may get that religion. Impress upon their minds that they have the same right to religion as the Brahmanas. Initiate all, even down to the Chandalas, in these fiery mantras. Also instruct them in simple words about the necessities of life and in trade, commerce, agriculture, etc. If you cannot do this, then fie upon your education and culture and fie upon your studying the Vedas and Vedanta. Disciple. But where is that strength in us? I have felt myself blessed if I had had a hundredth part of your power, Swamiji. Swamiji, how foolish! Power and things like that will come by themselves. Put yourself to work, and you will find such tremendous power coming to you that you will feel it hard to bear. Even the least work done for others awakens the power within. Even thinking the least good of others gradually instills into the heart the strength of a lion. I love you all so much, but I would wish you all to die working for others. I should be rather good to see you do that, disciple. What will become of those then who depend on me? Swamiji, if you are ready to sacrifice your life for others, God will certainly provide some means for them. Have you not read in the Gita the words of Sri Krishna? Nehi kalyan kischati durgatin tat gachati. Never does a doer of good, O my beloved, come to grief. Disciple, I see, sir. Swamiji, the essential thing is renunciation. Without renunciation, none can pour out his whole heart in working for others. The man of renunciation sees all with an equal eye and devotes himself to the service of all. Does not our Vedanta also teach us to see all with an equal eye? Why then do you cherish the idea that wife and children are your own more than others? At your very threshold, Narayana himself in the form of a poor beggar is dying of starvation. Instead of giving him anything, would you only satisfy the appetites of your wife and children with with the delicacies? Why? That is beastly. Disciple, to work for others requires a good deal of money at times, and where shall I get that? Swamiji, why not do as much as lies within your power? Even if you cannot give to others for want of money, surely you can at least breathe into their ear some good words or impart some good instruction, can't you? Or does that also require money? Disciple, yes, sir, that I can do, Swamiji. But saying I can won't do. Show me through action what you can do, and then only shall I know that your coming to me is turned to some good account. Get up and set your shoulder to the wheel. How long is this life for? As you have come into this world, leave some mark behind. Otherwise, where is the difference between you and the trees and stones? They too come into existence, decay and die. If you like to be born and to die like them, you are at liberty to do so. Show me by your actions that your reading the Vedanta has been fruitful of the highest good. Go and tell all in every one of you lie that eternal power and try to wake it up. What will you do with individual salvation? That's sheer selfishness. Throw aside your meditation, throw away your salvation and such things. Put your whole heart and soul in the work to which I have consecrated myself. With bated strength, the disciple heard these inspiring words, and Swamiji went on with his usual fire and eloquence. Swamiji, first of all, make the soil ready, and thousands of Vivekanandas will in time be born into this world to deliver lectures on religion. You need not worry yourself about that. Don't, don't you see why I am starting orphanages farming relief works, etc. Don't you see how Sister Nivedita, an English lady, has learned to serve Indians so well by doing even menial work for them? And can't you, being Indians, similarly serve your own fellow countrymen? Go, all of you, wherever there is an outbreak of plague or famine, or wherever the people are in distress, and mitigate their sufferings. At the most, you may die in the attempt. What of that? How many like you are taking birth and dying like worms every day? What difference does that make to the world at large? Die you must, but have a great ideal to die for, and it is better to die with a great ideal in life. Preach this ideal from door to door, and you will yourself be benefited by it at the same time that you are doing good to your country. On you lie the future hopes of our country. I feel extreme pain to see you leading a life of inaction. Set yourselves to work. Do not tarry. The time of death is approaching day by day. Do not sit idle thinking that everything will be done in time later on. Mind, nothing will be done that way. Talk number 24. Reconciliation of jhana and bhakti. Satya Chit Ananda. How? uh, Sectarianism originates bringing Shraddha and the worship of Shakti and avatars. The ideal of the hero we want now, not this Madhura Bhava Sri Ramakrishna avatars. Place. The Belur Mutt while under construction year 1896. Disciple. Pray, Swamiji, how can jnana and bhakti be reconciled? We see the following flowers of the path of devotion. Bhaktas close their ears at the name of Shankara, and again the followers of the path of knowledge. Jnanis call the Bhaktas fanatics. Seeing them weep in torrents or sing and dance in ecstasy in the name of the Lord. Swamiji. The thing is, all this conflict is in the preliminary preliminary preparatory stage of jnana and bhakti. Have you not heard Sri Ramakrishna's story about Shiva's demons and Rama's monkeys? Disciple, yes sir, I have. Swamiji, but there is no difference between the supreme bhakti and the supreme jnana. The supreme bhakti is to realize God as the form of prema, love itself. If you see the loving form of God manifested everywhere and in everything, how can you hate or injure others? That realization of love can never come so long as there is the least desire in the heart. Or what Sri Ramakrishna used to say, attachment for kama kanchana, sense, pleasure, and wealth. In the perfect realization of love, even the consciousness of one's own body does not exist. Or also, the supreme jnana is to realize the oneness everywhere, to see one's own self as the self in everything. That too cannot come so long as there is the least consciousness of the ego, ahem. Disciple, then what you call love is the same as supreme knowledge, Swamiji. Exactly so. Realization of love comes to none unless one becomes a perfect jnani. There was once a fight between Shiva and Rama. Shiva was the guru of Rama, and Rama was the guru of Shiva. They fought but became friendly again. But there was no end to the quarrels and wranglings between the demons of Shiva and the monkeys of Rama. Does not the Vedanta say that Brahma is Satya Chitananda, the absolute existence, knowledge, bliss, disciple? Yes, sir. Swamiji, the word Sat, Chit, Ananda means Sat, that is existence, Chit, that is consciousness or knowledge, and Ananda is bliss, which is the same as love. There is no controversy between the Bhakta and the Jnani regarding the Sat aspect of Brahma. Only the Jnanis lay greater stress on his aspect of a Chit or knowledge, while the Bhaktas keep the aspect of Ananda or love more in view. But no sooner is the essence of Chit realized than the essence of Ananda is also realized. Because what is Chit is verily the same as Ananda. Disciple, why then is so much sectarianism prevalent in India, and why is there so much controversy between the scriptures on bhakti and jnana? Swamiji, the thing is, all this waging of war and controversy is concerning the preliminary ideals. That is, those ideals which men take up to attain the real jnana or real bhakti. But which do you think is the higher, the end or the means? Surely the means can never be higher than the end, because the means to realize the same end must be numerous, as they vary according to the temperament or mental capacities of individual followers. The counting of beads, meditation, worship, offering, oblations in the sacred fire, all these and such other things are the limbs of religion. They are but the means and to attain to supreme devotion, parabhakti, or to the highest realization of Brahma is the preeminent end. If you look a little deeper, you will understand what they are fighting about. One says, if you pray to God facing the east, then you will reach Him. No, says another, you will have to sit facing the west and then only you will see Him. Perhaps someone realized God in the meditation ages ago by sitting with his face to the east, and his disciples at once began to preach this attitude, asserting that none can ever see God unless he assumes this position. Another party comes forward and inquires, how is that such and such a person realized God while facing the west, and we have seen this ourselves. In this way, all these sects have originated. Someone might have attained supreme devotion by repeating the name of the Lord as Hari, at, and at once it entered into the composition of the Shastras as Harinam, Hariname Kevalam, Kalo Nasteve Gatiranthaya. The name of the Lord Hari, the name of the Lord Hari, the name of the Lord Hari alone. Verily there is no other path than this in the age of Kali. Someone again, let us suppose, might have attained perfection with the name of Allah, and immediately another creed originated by him began to spread, and so on. But we have to see what is the end to which all these forms of worship and other religious practices are intended to lead. The end is the Shraddha. You have not any synonym in our Bengali language to express the Sanskrit word Shraddha. The Upanishad says that Shraddha entered into the heart of Nachiketa. Even with the word Ekagarta, one pointedness, we cannot express the whole significance of all the word Shraddha. The word Ekagarnistha, one pointed devotion, conveys to a certain extent the meaning of the word Shraddha. If you meditate on any truth with steadfast devotion and concentration, you will see that the mind is more and more tending onwards to the oneness, that is, taking you towards the realization of the absolute existence, knowledge, belief. The scriptures on bhakti or jnana give special advice to men to take up in life the one or the other of such a nishtha and make it their own. With the lapse of ages, these great truths become distorted and gradually transform themselves into desacharas or the prevailing customs of a country. It has happened not only in India but in every nation and every society in the world, and the common people lacking in the discrimination make these the bone of contention and fight among themselves. They have lost sight of the end, and hence sectarianism, quarrels and fights continue. Disciple, what then is the saving means, Swamiji? Swamiji, that true Shraddha as of old has to be brought back again. The weeds have to be taken up by the roots. In every faith and in every path there are no doubt truths which transcend time and space, but a good deal of rubbish has accumulated over them. This has to be cleared away, and the true eternal principles have to be held before the people, and then only our religion and our country will be really benefited. Disciple, how will that be affected? Swamiji, why? First of all, we have to introduce the worship of the great saints, those great souled ones who have realized the eternal truths are to be presented before the people as the ideals to be followed, as in the case of India. Sri Ramachandra, Sri Krishna, Mahavira, and Sri Ramakrishna, among others. Can you bring in the worship of Sri Ramachandra and Mahavira in this country? Keep aside for the present the Vrindavan aspect of Sri Krishna and spread far and wide the worship of Sri Krishna, roaring the Gita out with the voice of a lion, and bring into daily use the worship of Shakti, the Divine Mother, the source of all power. Disciple, is the divine play of Sri Krishna with the gopis of Vrindavan not good then? Swamiji, under the present circumstances, that worship is of no good to you. Playing on the flute and so on will not regenerate the country. We now mostly need the ideal of a hero with the tremendous spirit of Rajas thrilling through his veins from head to foot, the hero who will dare and die to know the truth, the hero whose armor is renunciation, whose sword is wisdom. We want now the spirit of the brave warrior in the battlefield of life, and not of the wooing lover who looks upon life as a pleasure garden. Disciple, is then the path of love as depicted in the ideal of the gopis false? Swamiji, who says so? Not I. That is a very superior form of worship. Sadhana. In this age of tremendous attachment to sense pleasure and wealth, very few are able even to comprehend those higher ideals. Disciple, then are not those who are worshipping God as husband or lover Madhur following the proper path? Swamiji, I dare say not. There may be a few honorable exceptions among them, but know that the greater part of them are possessed of dark tamasic nature. Most of them are full of morbidity and affected with exceptional weakness. The country must be raised, the worship of Mahavira must be introduced, the Shakti Puja must form a part of our daily practice. Sri Ramachandra must be worshipped in every home. Therein lies your welfare, therein lies the good of the country. There is no other way. Disciple, but I have heard that Bhagwan Sri Rama Krishna used to sing the name of God very much, Swamiji, quite so. But this was a different case. What comparison can there be between him and ordinary man? He practiced in his life all the different ideals of religion to show that each of them leads but to the one truth. Shall you or I ever able to do all that he has done? None of us has understood him fully, so I do not venture to speak about him anywhere and everywhere. He only knows what he himself really was. His frame was a human one only, but everything else about him was entirely different from other disciples. Do you, may I ask, believe him to be an avatar, incarnation of God? Shivanji, tell me first, what do you mean by an avatar? Disciple. Why? I mean one like Ramachandra, Sri Krishna, Sri Gauranga, Buddha or Jesus, etc. Swamiji, I know Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna to be even greater than that, those you have just named. What to speak of believing, which is a petty thing, I know. Let us, however, drop the subject now, more of it another time. After a pause, Swamiji continued to re-establish the Dharma. There come Mahapurushas, great teachers of humanity, suited to the needs of the times and society. Call them what you will, either Mahapurushas or Avataras. It matters little. They reveal each in his life the ideal. Then by degree shapes are molded in their matrices. Men are made. Gradually sects arise and spread. As time goes on, these sects degenerate and similar reformers come again. This has been the law flowing in uninterruptedly success. In un, uh, the law flowing in uninterrupted succession like a current down the ages. Disciple, why do you not preach Sri Ramakrishna as an avatar? You have indeed power, eloquence, and everything else needed to do it. Swamiji, truly, I tell you, I have understood him very little. He appears to me to have been so great that whenever I have to speak anything of him, I am afraid lest I ignore or explain away the truth. Lest my little power does not suffice, lest in trying to extol him I present his picture by painting him according to my lights and belittle him thereby. Disciple, but many are now preaching him as an avatara. Swamiji, I'll let them do so if they like. They are doing it in the light in which they have understood him. You too can go and do the same. If you have understood him, disciple, I cannot even grasp you what to say of Sri Ramakrishna. I should consider myself blessed in this life if I get a little of your grace. Thank you, my dear friends, for listening this video with patience and devotion. I end this video here, and the video number 8 will start with the talk number 25 and page 186. Thank you, my dear friends, for giving your patience. Please like, comment, and share the video and subscribe the channel. Namaskar.